Okay, here I am live again on Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully a couple of folks will tune back in. Melissa's saying, "You shall not be a witch." Yeah, obviously the StreamYard gods are mad at me. Sorry, StreamYard gods. I have to offer you some salt or something like that. I don't know. That's what I need to do. Just get like a big old circle of salt around my laptop. Okay, so we're back live again. Let me reshare the broadcast here. Let's see. Refresh my page. Gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. You know I hate when these technical difficulties come up in our broadcast, and I just want everyone to have like a good experience here. So, all right. I think I am back. Hey, Justina, how you doing? All right, I'm back on the Facebook. If you're tuned in on Facebook, let me know how it's going for you. Let me know if you can see me okay. I see I have one viewer. Ugh, sorry about the difficulties here today. What are you going to do? It just, I don't know. Saturday mornings hate me, and I don't know why. Maybe more people are streaming on a Saturday morning? I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a big old mystery. So let's talk about the Witchy Weather Report. Sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties throughout the chat, but let me bring us back around to the beginning. It's the Witchy Weather Report. It is the spring equinox. That means, A, that we have a beautiful day of pure equilibrium, which happens only twice a year. So if you don't feel like you're in equilibrium most of the time, don't worry. You're doing it right. Life is supposed to be an ebb and flow. So don't stress out so much about it. Today, we are in this equilibrium of light and dark. Does this day feel any different? Do you have any observations about this day that feel a little different than our regular day-to-day existence? Let me know. Also, at this time of year, the spring equinox, seeds that we plant, both literally and metaphorically, come to fruition more easily. We give ourselves permission and our goals permission to flourish. So what are you paying attention to? What we place our focus on grows. I'm back. Yes, hello, Judith, I'm back. I know, I had to restart the stream, so that meant the old Facebook post went away. But I shared it again in a couple of places, and hopefully people should begin to tune back in. You can always tune in on Instagram or YouTube as well. Okay. Our card for the week is the Page of Cups. What are your emotions telling you this week? What would it look like for you if you prioritized your emotions and treated them as a beautiful, beautiful gift, rather than a hassle that you have to put aside for when you have time to manage them? I see that language a lot. Actually, even especially in other like holistic groups, managing your emotions. What if your emotions were not something to manage, but something to partner with? What if instead of you feeling like you had to rein in your emotions, you and your emotions were in relationship and had conversations and had a give and take? What if your emotions were one of the leaders along with your heart and your mind? What would that look like for you? What do you want to create in your life? Because the Page of Cups is also about creativity. What messages might you be missing from your emotions? That's another question to ask yourself this week. And those are the big questions for everyone this week. All right. Looking to see who's tuned in. I think I lost the original person who had asked me to pull a card, Sri Vidya, but I'm going to go ahead because I know that they wanted one and hope that they see the replay. And this person specifically asked for a card about a reunion with a spouse. Would the person come back? I will share and this is just a piece of personal advice from me. As a tarot reader, I get asked all the time, will this person call me? Will they contact me? Will they reach out to me? Will they ask me to get back together? Will they do something? And I get asked so frequently that my advice has become, why don't you give them a call? If you want to talk, there's a way to do that. Reach out, make contact. Why don't you reach out and contact the person? And it doesn't mean, of course, every situation is complicated. I understand. You know what I mean? But instead of us trying to mind read and guess what someone that we care about is going to do, why don't we just do what we want to do? If what we want is a reunion or a conversation, why don't we initiate that? That's a much more guaranteed way to get what you desire than asking a tarot reader that you maybe have never met what your loved one is going to do. They'll certainly do something if you reach out to them. Why guess when you can ask? All that said, I understand some situations are more complicated. I get it. So I'll pull a card about you and your husband, Sri Vidya, and I hope you're still watching. If not, I hope you watch the replay. The card is the World. The World suggests the end of a chapter. And it suggests a time for learning. What has changed in your relationship? If your relationship is on pause now, or perhaps ended, what lessons do you have to learn? Relationships can evolve when two people break up and get back together. Whether or not they get back together, both parties are changed. If they return to each other, it's not the same relationship. It's a new one that they make together. What did you learn from the past chapter of your marriage relationship? What lessons still have to be learned? Are there maybe lessons that your spouse also has to learn? It's a good time now, rather than trying to make something happen, to focus on maybe, is there a message? Is there something you should be learning from this situation? And I don't just mean about like, oh, well, it's clear from his communication he's going to do this. I mean, is there something for your own personal growth that you could be taking away from this that maybe you're not, because you're so wrapped up in what you want to happen? And believe me, I understand. Believe me, like everyone else, I have consulted the tarot about relationships and what's going to happen so many times in my life. But at the end of the day, what you do have the power to do is speak up yourself if you want something to happen. You know, make that initiation yourself. And tend to your own growth no matter what happened. What if you were an ally to yourself and give yourself kindness, whether or not things worked out with this person? What if you just showed up for yourself and said, okay, this is a really hard time. What can I do to be kind and loving to myself right now? What would that look like? Those are my questions to you. All right. I know I have a couple of people on the Instagrams. Dropping cats. Let's see. I know we have Grayson, Melissa, and Mary Jane dropping cats. Justina, I usually pull a card for you, so unless you tell me not to, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card for you too. And I know Judith, watching over on Facebook, would like a card. So let's see. I think the first person who dropped a cat was Melissa. Melissa, I'm pulling a card for you. Melissa's like putting all the cats in the chat. And if you didn't hear your name on deck, just drop another cat. I definitely don't want to forget you. Today's been a little trying with the technical difficulties, but what can you do? You know, it happens. That's life. Emily Fasolino. Hey, lovely. Thank you for joining. Melissa, here is your card. Melissa, your card for the week is the 9 of Wands. Let's talk about this, because the 9 of Wands often is about taking on a little more than we can chew, feeling overwhelmed, feeling perhaps that the world is against you. And these might be feelings, again, we have this focus of treating your feelings as messengers. I'm going to show this more to the Instagram because Melissa's on the Instagram, but I'm trying to make it so that both of you can see it a little bit. What message do these feelings have for you when you are feeling overwhelmed? When you're feeling like you have to approach life as though it is a battle? Where are those feelings coming from? Can we dig deeper? Can we invite those feelings to tea? Because that's what we're all invited to do. And ask them to just like bare our soul. Can we like make them a nice hot cuppa and be like, okay, feelings, what's going on? Why don't you tell me the whole story? And this is where we need to be at with it, because it's very easy for us to be like, I want to break out of repeating patterns. I don't want to make the same mistake again. I don't want to, like, we all know what we don't want to do, you know? What are your feelings telling you? What are they telling you? Are they telling you this is something that happened to us before and we just need care around it? Or are they saying this is something that's happening right now and we need to stop it? Or are they saying move forward, we're just uncomfortable and you need to be kind, we need gentleness, you know? Or something else, you know, like I'm not a mind reader, I'm just a tarot reader. So consult with your feelings. Let's check this out, because the Nine of Wands really makes us feel very isolated. Like we're up on a tower and we can't trust anyone to come up there and show up with us. And I know that's not true. So let's figure out why we're feeling that way. All right. By the way, Melissa, I think I owe you a text or a Facebook message or something. I haven't forgotten you. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm just disorganized. Oh, thank you so much for sharing this stream, Judith. I really appreciate it. Hey, Diggy Cat, how you doing? All right, I'm going to pull a card for Judith, and then I'm going to get back over to Mary Jane. I'm going to just go back and forth between the Facebook and the Instagrams. Melissa says, you are a mind-reading tarot reader, and this is a Real Feels today. Real Feel, the Real Feel report. Does anyone listen to the Weather Channel, where they're like, the real feel temperature today is? And it's funny because it's like, this is how it really feels, but it's not the temperature it really is. I like that as an interpretation for our feelings, right? Maybe when we're evolving, right? Maybe growing out of some old habits. It feels like something is happening that isn't happening. The real feeling is like, oh God, like I'm in panic mode. There's a lion. I'm stressed out. But maybe that's not what's actually happening. And if we can talk to the feelings and partner with them, we can learn how to move through it more gracefully. Anyway. Ooh, Diggy Cat's like, still in bed under the covers. Nice. What time is it there? It's what, 8:30 in the morning? I'd be asleep. I woke up at 8:30 in the morning because I have a meeting at 9 a.m. on Saturdays. But generally, I'm like, no, thank you. Anyway, I'm pulling a card for you right now, Judith. I see you sharing me around. Thank you so much. Oh, that actually, I'm going to close that Facebook window. I don't need that while I'm streaming. We don't need more things on our bandwidth. So if you just joined us for the Witchy Weather Report, happy Ostara. It's the spring equinox. How are we feeling? We're in a state of rare equilibrium. Remember that throughout the year, we tend to ebb and flow, and that's natural and normal and part of balance. Today, we have some equilibrium. Look at today as an oasis, you know, or an island of calm in a sea of otherwise movement. What does it feel like? Think about what you want to flourish in the next 6 months, because what you focus on now will grow. So focus on things you want to grow. All right, Judith, my card for you, my dear, is the Queen of Swords. Let's talk about your truth. My ring light is washing that right out. Let me see if I can get it a little closer. Or I could just turn the ring light down a little. Let's see if that helps. Here we go. Queen of Swords. I'll show it briefly to the Instagram too, but Judith's on Facebook, so I want to show it to Facebook kids. What is your truth? Because the truth is going to set you free this week. We have the Page of Cups and the Queen of Swords. These might seem to be at odds, head and heart, but they're not at odds because your feelings and your truth are very, very closely related. This is not about everyone else's truth. This is not about you denying your feelings to find the truth, because that won't lead you to the real nuanced truth. Your feelings are part of the truth. The truth is big and complicated, but also your truth doesn't have to be complicated. Your truth can be, this is what I need. I'm feeling this way because this need isn't getting met, and here's what I can do to get that need met. And it can be that simple, and you can just go after the thing you need to do to get that need met without apology and live your truth in that way. So how can you live your truth in this week? And if living your truth sounds like a tall order, like that's a lot, maybe, live your truth, be the one. How can you honor your truth? How can you say to your truth, hey, I hear you. Okay, what's the next step? Like, break it down with your truth. Have a meeting, have a little planning meeting, write a to-do list. Figure out what's easy. Hey, Misha, thank you for joining. Hello, friends. It's so great to see people tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of the Witchy Weather Report. Okay, I am going to pull a card now for Mary Jane. Next on deck is Emily, then Grayson and Justina. And if you have joined recently and you'd like a card, the way to ask for a card is to drop a cat emoji in the chat. Mary Jane, I am pulling a card for you right meow. If you're just joining us, it is Ostara, the spring equinox. Make sure that you are planting seeds you want to plant. Make sure that you are focusing on what you want to grow, because what we focus on now will flourish. So TLDR, let's not focus on drama, because we don't want drama to flourish. Unless we do. Maybe we're a dramatic actor and we want more drama in our lives. Okay. I hope that you bring your drama to your art rather than to your life. I just recommend that as someone who's also creative. Okay. Mary Jane, Knight of Wands. Let's talk about this. We have some big Wands energy coming up. Fire. The sun is coming back into power starting tomorrow. Light will begin to dominate rather than darkness. We've had longer nights rather than longer days, and that all changes starting tomorrow. Light begins to be the dominant force. So let's talk about fire. Knight of Wands. You have an idea of what you want and you're determined to go after it, like hell or high water. And that's beautiful energy, by the way. In the context of the Page of Cups, which is kind of everyone's invitation, I'm going to invite you to sort through your emotions and your desires, and not to label with judgment like either one is better than the other. But there's definitely some energy that's beneficial, I would say, for you, of like, yes, I'm going to do the thing I've been wanting to do. That impulsivity can actually be a real helper sometimes. But don't let it blind you to possibilities that maybe don't involve questing, right? Knights are questers. Knights ride in on a big horsey thing. This is actually like an antler lion, which is really cool. Like knights ride in with their swords out. That's cool. But not everything in life requires that approach. Are there places? I think there are probably some things in life that do require that approach right now, and it's okay to embrace that energy. But remember, your job as a knight is to look around and ask yourself, what's the easiest way for me to get this done? Maybe it doesn't require me taking my sword out. Maybe it requires a nuanced word to the right person in the pub, I'm going a little deep with this knight cosplay, but stay with me. What does it look like? What's the most efficient way for you to get what you desire, rather than throw all your energy into it when maybe 10% of your energy would be sufficient? What would that look like? I don't know. I'm asking you. All right. I'm going to pull a card for Emily. How are we all feeling? Let me know. Because I know today's been wild with the technical difficulties and whatever else. I keep talking about planting seeds. What seeds are you planting? I'm going to tell you the seed I'm planting big time. It's streaming. It's live streaming. I actually did a little bit of spring cleaning on my to-do list and my schedule yesterday to make room for me to be doing some type of live streaming almost every day. I'm going to be doing a lot of that on Twitch. I'm just checking out a music thing called Sessions, which I don't know too much about, but I'm exploring it. Live streaming is what I want my future to be right now. I want live streaming to flourish in my life. So that's the seed I am planting. What seeds are you planting? Oh, Mary Jane, you moved over to Facebook. You snuck over, cross-platform. All right, Emily, I'm about to pull a card for you. After that, I have Grayson and Justina. I think that's all I have. If you are someone who needs a card, please drop another cat or like be like, Rory, you forgot me. Let me know. I don't want to forget you. Oh, and I know I'm going to pull a card for Undine. I know she might not be with us anymore. She has to go get to that test. Emily. Judgment, baby. Again, trying to not let this be washed out. Here's the card, Instagram friends. Here's the card, Facebook friends. How can I do this so everyone can see it? Maybe like that. I'm doing my best, y'all. Let's talk about judgment. This is about your beautiful judgment. Remember earlier I was talking about your truth. Let's look at these butterflies of wisdom. Beautiful free wisdom. And let's talk about poppies. Some of these poppies are quite tall. Are there areas in life where you have been not acting in your judgment because you don't want to be a tall poppy, because you don't want to stand out, because you don't want to deal with what happens when you speak your truth? What would it look like to scream your truth from a mountaintop in freedom and then dance beautifully down the cliffside celebrating your truth? What would it look like if instead of a conflict with other people, your truth looked like a celebration and freedom? These are my questions for you. I just want to share Emily's comment. Why? Because the universe wants you to embrace your own judgment. Trust yourself. All right, I'm going to take a break and pull a card right now for Undine, who may or may not be here. She might be taking her test. If she's watching the replay, here we are. And then I've got on deck Grayson and Justina. And if you would like a card, Diggy Cat or Misha, please let me know. I'd love to pull a card for you. Emily, I love you. All right, this is Ondine's card. Ooh, then some of you are talking about what seeds you're planting, and I'm going to read some of those because that's great. Undine, let's talk about our old friend, the Queen of Pentacles. This card hasn't come up for you in a while. Undine's a regular, someone I read for on the regular. And this card, this Queen of Pentacles vibe of like making sure that your resources are met and that you have things, your ducks in a row, kind of in a pragmatic way, hasn't been your thing for a little while. But it's time for a flashback. And that's happening with a lot of us right now, by the way. I don't know. Surely I'm not the only one reprocessing past issues and past trauma right now as I grow through them, because that's what happens. You grow through, you make a better choice, and then your past trauma is like, I remember me. I'm the stress. I'm the reason you didn't make this choice before. Remember how stressful this feels? I'm definitely feeling that. And it's actually like, that's a time when the resistance is telling you you're on the right track, right? But we do have to be gentle with ourselves. Anyway, what's coming back up for you with this card? The Queen of Pentacles is not a negative card. This is something you're great at. So again, I'm going to give you information and advice I gave to someone else. What would it look like knowing that you have this mastery of your practicality, and at times it has become such a focus that it seems to block out everything else? What would it look like to approach this Not with, okay, I guess I have to be the Queen of Pentacles full time. I guess I have to put all my energy back into the pragmatic stuff. But again, if instead of using 150% of your energy on the pragmatic stuff, what if you used 10%? What if you were like, I'm really good at this. I can probably make some tweaks and make it more efficient. What does it look like to do exactly what is needed and nothing more? Because the Queen of Pentacles is nothing if not efficient, so that you can free yourself up to honor your feelings and your creativity, which is everyone's focus, and the seeds you want to plant, which is a very Pentacles-y thing to do, by the way. All right, I see some seeds. Misha just says streamy seeds. Yes, that's the kind of seeds I'm planting. Diggy Cat is planting seeds of more music collaboration. Grayson is planting seeds of self-discipline and creativity. I enjoy the mishmash of those. That actually sounds like the 40 servants cards that have been coming up for you lately. All right. Who am I pulling a card for next? I know I have Grayson on deck, then Justina, then Diggy Cat. Ooh, Mary Jane is planting photo seeds. I like it. Oh, Mary Jane, you could really be taking some good spooky photos of seeds. If you haven't seen it, Mary Jane has been doing this really cool photography series of just like everyday objects looking super dark and spooky. And I love it. It's really cool. By the way, if you're enjoying this, I have a Patreon just for my tarot work. It's patreon.com/Sassafras Tarot. I've begun doing my podcast as live streams. I did it as an experiment. And it went so well that I think I'm going to this is how I do it now. So if you're a patron, you get to see those live streamed podcasts live. The last one I put out was about a week ago. It was about shadow work. It was an hour-long discussion on that topic. And you can get it right now on your favorite podcast listening app. It's if you search for Sassafras Cast. No space, all one word. SASSAFRASCAST. Sassafras Cast. You'll be able to listen to those episodes, but patrons get to participate in the episodes. I do them now as live streams, much like this, with like an unlisted YouTube link, so that if you're a patron, and some of you are, and I love you, thank you, you can be right there for that stream. You can be a part of it. Anyhow, I just felt like letting you know that that is something that is available to you if you want to dig a little deeper in the world of tarot with Rory. And I offer these Witchy weather reports freely. I do have a virtual tip jar scrolling across the bottom of the screen there, and I think it's in a comment. It's at Rory Kelly on Venmo or paypal.me/Rory Kelly. Always appreciated, never expected. But a few of you have been very generous, and I'm always grateful. So thank you. Mary Jane says, my daughter asked me this morning why all photos were dark and weird. I feel like that's like a little bit of a role reversal. Like I distinctly remember having conversations with my parents and the parents of others when I was like in high school. Like, why you gotta listen to that dark music? And she's like, Mom, why you gotta be so dark? I kind of love the role reversal. 'Cause life is dark and weird, daughter. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've been like yammering instead of pulling your card, Grayson. Obviously, a little more shuffling was just needed. Let's see. We have the Six of Pentacles. Oh, I love it. I love the Six of Pentacles, in part because I really relate to it. So I'm showing it to you Facebook friends. That's the Six of Pentacles. I'm showing it to you on Instagram because that's where you're at, Grayson. So this is where I'm going to hold the card up mostly. The Six of Pentacles. Literally, this person is singing prosperity into existence in this card. So you can see why I might like this, as a singer. What does this look like for you? What would it look like if flourishing in terms of your resources, so time, money, anything that feels like a resource to you, what you need to feel good and thrive. What would it look like if flourishing was natural and easy and joyful rather than a struggle? That's the question that you are being asked at this time. What if generosity wasn't something that felt like an obligation, but felt like a joyful expression that was super easy for you and yet had a big impact on the person to whom you were speaking. That's a theme I've been exploring for like the last year, is what does it look like when I give something that's of great value to the other party, but that doesn't have to deplete me to do it, right? And not all generosity is money. Sometimes it is. I've had people, and I've had times in my life where it has been like me giving someone $20 or $50 or whatever means to them a lot more than 20 or $50 means to me at that moment, right? Where that's life-changing for them and allows them to continue to exist. And for me, it's like, hey, I have it, no problem. That's one form generosity can take. Generosity can also take the form of just helping something with something you're good at and the other person isn't. You know, they could spend hours of struggling. For you, it's 10 minutes. So you help them and it takes 10 minutes and it was easy for you. And it's like mind-blowingly beneficial for them. So that's what I want us to explore, especially this year. What does it look like for us to all rise together by giving generously in ways that don't deplete us? What does it look like to use 10% of our energy rather than 100% of our energy? And all of us just walking around helping each other rise, not depleted. Like, what a concept. I just want us to consider it. I just want us to think about it. All right. I got 2 cards left. Justina, I got a card. Diggy Cat, I got a card for you. Misha, if you want a card, if I missed it, speak now or forever hold your peace. I won't pull a card for someone who doesn't want one. I know there are people who get very stressed about that. I don't want to stress you out. And if you've been lurking and you really want a card, just drop a cat emoji in the chat. I'll card you up. All right. Justina, this card is for you. The Fool. Again, we have butterflies. There's a lot of butterflies in this deck. I chose this deck because it's a beautiful springtimey feeling deck to me. Let's talk about the Fool. Let me show it around here. Man, I have to do something about the lighting so I don't get these cards washed out. There is the Fool for you Facebook friends, but I'm bringing it over so that our Instagram friends can see it a little better. Let's see if I can kind of, yeah, now everyone can see it a little bit. Okay, let's talk about the Fool. What's new in your life and maybe a little scary? What is it that you're planting seeds on right now that makes your heart beat a little faster? Makes it feel like, oh yeah, this is great. Oh God, is it great? Am I about to fly or am I about to fall off of a cliff? You see that the Fool is in a place that many might consider precarious. Like a cat, the Fool enjoys being on high places. It's exhilarating and exciting. Like a cat, the Fool is unconcerned. Yeah, I'm up here. It's fine. In fact, check out this cool like little fox friend that the Fool's got. I just want to show you all this little cool fox. Just chilling out there, again, like a cat, although it's a fox. Just chilling on the top of the mountain like, yeah, oh, you're having a good time. I'm having a good time too. The Fool is unconcerned with perceived danger because the Fool has beginner's luck and the Fool is guided and protected on their journey. In part, this is literally energy that they create. In part, this is because they are just so excited that it carries them through the potential pitfalls. They have this beautiful energy. So the seeds that you're planting right now, lean in, enjoy them, enjoy the roller coaster ride. It's supposed to feel that way when you're changing your life in big ways. Diggy cat, diggy cat. Time to pull a card for ya. I'm trying for the rhyme. Let's see. I'm just scrolling up, making sure I didn't miss any cardy requests. All right. I think I'm good. I think Diggy Cat is going to be the last person I pull a card for. Speak now or forever hold your peace if you would like a card and you have not gotten one. And I will remind you, I do this every week. Witchy Weather Report, always at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time. And usually Usually for Greenwich Mean Time, that makes it 4 o'clock. But right now, they haven't gone over to daylight savings time and we have. So it's 4 hours, not 5 right now. So I'm just not even saying anything. 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. If you're somewhere else, do the conversion because I don't want to mess it up. I do this every Saturday. And I hope you'll subscribe wherever you're watching and join me again next Saturday. I especially love that. I love when people come back because I like to know, like, how did things go? You know, I'm pulling cards for you. I'm invested. You know, it's like how when a friend shares a picture of their cat online and you're like, I'm invested. I need to see updates on this cat all the time, please. That's how I feel. I pull cards for you, cards about going after your dreams, cards about honoring your truth. I'm like, I need to know. I need to know how the cats that are your dreams and your truth are doing. You got to let me know every week, guys. All right. Diggy Cat, my friend. Your card is justice. This is an invitation for you today to embody justice. What would it look like if you were embodying the spirit of justice? I know that's a little bit like high and mighty, but I also feel like as a Gemini, you might have a big enough ego to go for it. And I say that with love. What does it look like for you to embody the spirit of justice at this time in your life? What is justice asking of us? And it may show up in an emotional way. Our card overall for the week this week is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is both a messenger, and it implies that our emotions and creativity themselves are the messenger. Look to your emotions and creativity and ask if they are giving you hints at how you can serve justice. And again, I'll bring this back around to what I've been saying all day today, which is this doesn't have to deplete you. This can be a part of a beautiful flow. What does it look like to use just a little bit of your energy to serve justice a little better because you have skills and resources and you have a lot of brilliance that you can bring to the world? What would it look like to use those skills and resources that come so naturally to you to serve justice? Higher calling this week. All right, my loves. I want to thank you so much for joining me today for the Witchy Weather Report. This concludes our Witchy Weather Report. It's the spring equinox. I send you off with a reminder to focus on what you want to grow, because what you focus on will grow. Be thoughtful about what seeds you are planting. If you're not sure what you'd like to plant, look to your emotions. Allow your emotions to be partners and friends and guides rather than an inconvenience this week. Invite your emotions to tea. Have a conversation with them. Ask them, what seed should I be planting? Be ready to hear their answer. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you again next week. Make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button. Whatever the button is, wherever you're watching me, that'll let you see me again. I want to see you again. Okay. Bye.